Okay, I'm glad that we're back in business. So like I was saying, we have a pretty big new tool coming out with Release 13 called Auto-Panelization. It takes just an out-of-the-box Revit wall and converts it into our custom precast parameterized wall panels. So I'm just going to go ahead and demo that for you now. We're not going to get into the weeds of how to use this tool during this session. We're just going to do a high level kind of overview so you can watch it happen in real time and get as excited as we are. So we're going to go to our geometry drop down and down to this auto panelization tool. And Jeremy and Doug, if at any point something seems weird on my end, you guys just let me know. So I'm going to panelize this wall here. I'm going to select my exterior face, and this is going to be this auto panelization window here. We're going to select the type of panel we want to have generated. I'm going to generate an insulated panel. So now that it is insulated, we also have this additional tab solid zones. So in our panel options, this is going to be that generated panel kind of rules that we were talking about. You also have the option to split that panel at level, and you'll get a new tab up there. We also have a place to define what you want that scrap behavior to do. So we've got the solid zone customizations if you've got an insulated panel. And we have the split level settings to split at any of your project levels, and you can assign an offset to that as well. So we're just going to go ahead and press continue and let this generate. And when it does, you can see that our architectural finish here has been cut up with those panels. You can see this grout behavior coming through. These voids that we cut out of that Revit wall have been cut from our precast panels automatically as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run our add-on hosting updater so that I can host that finish to the walls. And when that's done, I wanted to show you guys some parameters that we added to this to our wall families. Specifically for this insulated panel, I'm going to go ahead and select one of those and look in our properties palette. So we added this architectural volume cast here, as well as a structural volume cast. So that's going to give you the volume for the architectural and structural sides. And those are new parameters. We also have expanded some of our insulation drawing customization. I'm not going to place any insulation in this model. However, I am going to go over our insulation drawing setting changes or improvements. So previously, the only insulation that was eligible to be drawn with our insulation drawing tools would have been ones that were cut or not standard size. So if there was a cut to it at all, it got drawn. But if there wasn't, then it didn't. But now you have the option to toggle that on and off. You also have a toggle to place your recess annotations now. And you can define that text style here. And we also gave you the option to define a dimension offset for this insulation drawings as well. Again, I'm not going to actually draw any insulation, but I do want to just highlight those improvements to this settings window. So now we're going to go over our ticketing improvements that we've made. And I need to just delete this one that I did, and we'll do that together really quickly. So I'm just going to reset my views so that we can see these, and I'll hide this. So we've got some T-girders here that I've already assembled, and we're just going to use our auto ticket first and get a ticket created with a template that I've already set up. There we go. Auto ticket. And we're going to come down and select this demo. And press OK. and let it spin for just a minute. So a few things about our ticketing improvements. The first one that I want to talk about is that we've improved our formatting for how our append strings, dimensions, and callouts come through with our auto ticket or with clone ticket. Before, the text may have overlapped a little bit. Some of the lines may have gotten a little bit jumbled. So we've added some logic that helps keep that from happening, essentially. And we can especially see down here when we have some offsetting that those offsets are now kind of grouped into one and pulled to the side. So you don't have a bunch of different dimension text down here that you've got to, pull out and sort through. The overall dimension is always going to get pulled out to the farthest with those other subsequent dimensions kind of inside of that dimension.
And Sandra, I do want to jump in for just a moment because I think there might be a bug with the development build we're working on here. But in that bottom drawing, what would normally happen is that you would actually see the equality formula in line with the upset dimensions. That's kind of the update we made there. I'm not sure if our settings have equality formula turned off, or maybe, like I said, we did delay this a little bit to fix out some last minute bugs. So that may be what's going on there too.
Okay.
But we now support equality formula in line with upset dimensions.
Okay. So I'm just going to move this over just a bit so I can show a few more things. Okay. So we also now support, we're going to kind of move on to our clone ticketing enhancements that we've made, as well as a new tool called link append string here. So we'll kind of group that all together, our clone ticketing and link append string enhancements or new features. So the link append string would be useful for something such as if I were to come in here and delete this dimension that's been generated by our auto ticket, if I come in here and delete this and I want to pull my own dimensions, and I want to pull them to our center line of these plates here, and I want to be able to use this with our clone ticket. Before, this dimension would not be eligible to be copied with clone ticket because it was not getting pulled to the edge dim lines. But now we support the clone ticket to center lines. We also have the new link append strings. So now that we have pulled these new, dimensions, it needs to know what append string it belongs to. So in order to do that, we can do it two ways. We can do it with clone ticket, but I also want to show you that you can do it standalone using the link append string tool. So you'll select the assembly that you'd like to check, and it's going to pull up your append strings here. Oh, do that one more time. And I'm going to link that append string here, that P365 top and form, and press close. And so now when I go and clone this, it's going to know that this dimension belongs to this P365. So that call out, that append string is going to come through accurately in our clone ticket. So let's go ahead and use that clone ticket now.
I think that might have gotten linked wrong, by the way. It looked like it linked to the one on the left. If you want to just double check that real quick for me.
I could also do it with the clone ticket, but we can
That's also fine, yep.
Okay, we'll check it again. We'll have the option to check our link append strings with the clone ticket. And I'll show you guys that now. Clone ticket here, I'm going to clone from 01 to 02. And if you notice, now we have this toggle down at the bottom here to check your append strings. So if you uncheck this, you're not going to have that link append strings box pop up. You'll just have your clone ticket as normal. But I'm going to have that check append strings check and press continue. That's here, P65 is this one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one you want to link.
Yeah.
And that's to highlight that for a moment, that's what that side of piece column means. So it's highlighting which side of the element the dimension lives on.
All right.
So that's how you can kind of orient yourself in there.
This one. And stack. And let's open up that TGO2 sheet. And we can see that dimension did come through here, that P365. And sorry guys, I would have this on another screen, but bear with me. And I think that was it. Doug, did I miss anything with the ticketing? I was just going to kind of go over our CAD enhancements after this. I think I covered most of our call out kind of enhancements, that dimensioning, link append strings.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the majority of the auto ticket and clone ticket enhancements are kind of quality of life formatting changes.
Yeah.
Most of which are addressing specific concerns and complaints that we've received over time for those tools. Specifically with the centerline dimensioning rather than edge dim lines, that addresses a problem a lot of people have had in the past with sort of adjusting and changing and customizing the dimensions we generate. And then we're hopeful that, and obviously I apologize that in our demo model here it didn't quite work, but we're hopeful that by allowing combination of a quality formula with upsetting, that should create much cleaner dimension strings as well. Again, once this goes out next week, you guys can get your hands on it and see those improvements directly. But we're hopeful that this will alleviate a lot of the pain points that people were having with the ticketing tools and clone tickets specifically. I apologize for my voice. I had the flu last week, so I'm a little bit of a frog.
Thank you, Doug. So like Doug said, that kind of finishes up our ticketing enhancements. And the last thing that I kind of want to touch on before we open up the floor for a little bit of Q&A is just this CAD export settings. We made some improvements here. We now can export our rebar, and you can split those strand layers and rebar layers here with the toggle box. So now you can have top and bottom strand in their separate layers, as well as your rebar. And finishes as well, same again, we added this split finish layer here for top and bottom finishes. And each one you can respectively define if you'd like the export outline or vertical extents there. And that's really it as far as the CAD export settings go. Like Doug said, it's a lot of quality of life stuff. So that completes kind of our high level overview of the changes and improvements that we've made. Again, thanks for your patience as we figured out forever technical problems. We'll never be done with that. But now I guess we'll just open up the floor now. If anybody has any questions, be happy to answer them.
Yes, and I've also been answering some questions in the text chat.
Okay.
But I'm not sure how the meeting's set up. There may be a way that we can like unmute people if you're more comfortable asking a question, not in text. Otherwise, we'll be monitoring chat and Q&A if there's anything anybody has.
I see a few hands raised.
Yeah,
Looks like you
I
got them.
just
Okay.
allowed Colin Fusco.
Yes, I had a quick question about with the splitting walls. If you have a separate family for, say, a spandrel on a wall, would you be able to do multiple wall types, or is it just one?
So the way that it's going to work is that it's going to use one wall type for the Revit wall that you selected. So if you were trying to kind of model like a multiple types in one span there, you would model it as multiple Revit walls to represent the different sections.
Okay, so like at where you'd have a spandrel, you just do a wall, and then everything between that would be another Revit wall that you'd split later.
Exactly.
And Danny, I don't know if your hand is up on purpose or not. I'm going to allow your mic just in case. If it's not, don't worry about it. Got it.
Okay. Well, if there's no other questions, then we can give you guys your half hour back. Always feel free to reach out. Jeremy, Sandra, and myself, our emails are always open. And you're always welcome to access the support desk at edgesupport@ptac.com.
Yeah, go ahead, Colin.
Okay. One of the things, this isn't exactly for that. This is something I asked a while ago, and I don't know if it ever got fixed. Do you guys have a feature for, say, like the roof angle to be able to warp that, or is that something that's not been looked at yet? Kind of like the double T's.
I don't think we have something that would directly support what you're describing. I think I remember either we had that conversation or I read the conversation you had with someone else. We don't have anything that officially supports that right now.
Okay.
Well, we really appreciate your time and your patience as we figured this stuff out today. And again, your patience as we work out these last few bugs and iron out some details to get this release in y'all's hands. Look forward to that sometime next week. We will send you guys an update as soon as we have it. And if that's it, then I hope that everybody enjoys the rest of their afternoon. We're here if you need us.
Thanks, everybody.